What happened to Sri Lanka?
Rice is a staple food for a vast majority of the population in Sri Lanka. In a country where rice is included in all 3 meals of the day, there is no gainsay that paddy cultivation should be considered as a top priority. If the rice produced in Sri Lanka is sufficient to meet the demand, this would undoubtedly be a benefit for the people. However, several decisions taken by previous governments resulted in the complete destruction of the agriculture sector of the country. One of the main such inept decision was the decision to ban the import of chemical fertilizer overnight that led to the fertilizer crisis. But today, we are not going to talk about the fertilizer crisis. Today, we will be highlighting the tug-of-war between 2 ministers of the same government and what that power struggle did to 65,000 acres of farmland. Do you remember the Udawalawe farmers' crisis? This is a power struggle or a tug-of-war between 2 ministers that affected both the Hambantota district and the Monoragla district, which are 2 of the districts with a large number of paddy fields. The capacity of the Udawalawe reservoir is 217,440 acre-feet. This reservoir nourishes 25,000 hectares of paddy fields in the Ratnapura, Ambalipitia and Monoragala districts. Over 30,000 families directly depend on this reservoir for their livelihoods. With the sudden arid conditions that swept across the country during mid-2023, the water level of the Udawalawe reservoir had dropped significantly. The adverse results of this sudden drop in the water levels was suffered mostly by farmers in the south. The period during which the water level of the reservoir dropped coincided with the time period where the farmers in the south needed water to irrigate their paddy fields. The issue arose here when a decision was taken by the Cabinet of Ministers to prioritize the production of electricity and not to provide water to these paddy fields by the Samanala level of the Udawalawe reservoir. The Minister of Power and Energy at the time said that if water is provided to paddy fields, the supply of power in the southern province will have to be shut down. Although the then Minister of Irrigation stressed on the need for remaining water to be diverted to paddy fields for irrigation purposes, his voice was shut down. This tug-of-war directly affected the farmers. The paddy fields began to wither away due to the lack of sufficient water. This is where the farmers began their struggle. Farmers launched a satyagraha in Ambalipitia demanding for water to nourish their withering paddy fields. It was also revealed that the Department of Meteorology had informed authorities of the advent of the drought in advance, and questions were raised regarding the manner in which these authorities conducted themselves after being informed of the situation. This is a confirmation issued by the Director of Water Management Secretariat that water will be provided until the 20th of August 2023. This confirmation was issued while the Secretariat was fully aware of the impending drought, as they were informed about it by the Met Department. The farmers began their cultivations based on the representations made by officials who attend the Kanna meetings or seasonal meetings. The farmers pawned their jewelry and other belongings and began cultivating based on the assurance given by the Water Management Secretariat. This issue escalated as the government did not take a proper decision on this matter. This crisis resulted in the destruction of countless paddy fields in Ambalipitia, Hambantota, Angunakola Palassa and Suryawewa. Do you remember that many paddy fields were abandoned and left for animals to feast on? The drought intensified. The water that was retained in the Samanala was in the end found to be insufficient for neither the irrigation of paddy fields nor the production of water. This situation dealt a serious blow to the agricultural sector of Sri Lanka. After farmers agitated the matter by staging satyagrahas, within a month the cabinet revised their decision and allowed for water to be released from the Samanala for irrigation purposes, subject to several conditions. A considerable portion of paddy fields were destroyed. Just imagine what the destruction of 65,000 acres of paddy fields would do to a country's capacity to produce rice. No one can say that this incident did not contribute to the rapid increase in the price of rice in Sri Lanka. Even today, the price of rice in the market is quite high. The people of Sri Lanka, who are already battered by the economic crisis, must now pay a high price to just purchase some rice. Is it just that the people were left to suffer like this due to the power struggle of 2 former ministers who only held office for a brief period? should the people allow for incidents like this to happen in the future. The people are awake.
The power of the people.